Hey comic fans, welcome back to the Comic Fix episode 39.1. Now today's reviews, I'm going to start things off with a book that I had no intention of buying until I saw the writer, and that is Green Hornet issue number 1. Now with Mark Waid being at the helm, I thought, what the hell, I'll give this book a chance. Mark Waid is a fantastic writer. And the only knowledge I have of Green Hornet is from the movie. That terrible, god-awful movie that came out back in like 2010. So I was pleasantly surprised to find out that's not the Green Hornet we get here. What we get in here is a man who is, I think it takes place in the 60s, and he is at the helm of this newspaper. Now this newspaper is what everybody goes to get their news of what's going on around the world around them, because they don't have the internet, they don't have cell phones, they don't have nothing except for the newspaper. So what he does is, the Green Hornet, he runs this newspaper, and then at night he goes and becomes not a vigilante, but a super criminal. And he takes knowledge of all these sins that these criminals tell him, and basically he sends off his newspapers to do the snooping and to put down these criminals. Such an interesting concept, and to have Mark Waid at the helm of this is fantastic. And to see that this newspaper, who is taking out not just criminals, but taking out politicians, it's fantastic to see, especially with the newspaper people around the Green Hornet, and them saying, why, oh why, are we going to even touch the governor or any politician? Because it's easy to go and take down a criminal because they don't have any way of getting back at you, but these politicians do. So it's an interesting concept to see how Mark Waid takes this story. I love the artist in here, Daniel Indro. His artwork in here is just beautiful beyond belief. And he doesn't try to do anything out of the norm. He just does the regular panel layouts. There's no splash pages anywhere. It's just a very clean feel to this book. This book surprised the hell out of me. I enjoyed it all the way through, except for the middle part. It kind of bogged down, but then it ramped up right back up. This is a book that I think everyone should enjoy and try out. This is a special book, and Green Hornet issue number 1 is a big old thumbs up with a David Lee approved. The next book I'm going to be reviewing is Batman Inc. issue number 9. Now, Batman Incorporated, after issue number 8, easily became one of my most anticipated book for the month. I was so ready to see what Grant Morrison was going to do with the story he's been telling. How's Bruce Wayne going to react after the death of Damian Wayne? Well, in Batman and Robin, we saw him just in a silent haze, taking out bad guys left and right. Now in this issue, Grant Morrison takes the time to have the funeral of Damian Wayne and have the outcome of the events that happened with Leviathan and all the carnage around the Batman Incorporated members. Now Grant Morrison takes his time to go through the funeral of Damian Wayne, and we get to see some of our characters that we know and love, from Nathan Drake to Dick, just going through the emotions. It is so beautiful to see. I absolutely love Chris Burnham's art, specifically about where we see the rain coming down as Bruce is burying his son. It's just fantastic just to see the way that everything just flows together. And you really get the feeling that Bruce Wayne has just, his loss is just bearing on his soul. Now the times in this book that I thought that really dropped off was when you saw all the other members that died in the Batman Incorporated family. And you see that their funerals are also going on, especially the one that's taking on in France. I mean, that whole scene there kind of just, I was like, I don't care. I just want to go back and seeing how Bruce Wayne is dealing with the death of Damian. There was a point in here where we have Bruce Wayne telling Alfred, you can go home, Alfred. I just cannot deal with this anymore. You are the reason why I specifically told you to keep Damian in the Batcave. But you defied me, and I want you to go on a vacation, and we'll talk about this when you get back. That scene right there, you just see the hurt that's going through Bruce Wayne's mind. And just to see Alfred's expressions, it's just so beautiful. This is a death that Grant Morrison has taken upon himself, and he's relishing in it. He is telling a great story about the tragedy that has happened. We get the scenes that lead up after the death of Damian, and it was beautiful. This book had me on top of my seat, just going and being like, what's going to happen next? This book, Batman Incorporated, has become one of the most anticipated books for DC Comics. It is amazing to see what Grant Morrison has done with the character of Damian Wayne and with his death. Now, a lot of times in comics, deaths are meaningless. But in here, Grant Morrison has a soul to this death that you don't see in a lot of comics. This issue right here was just as amazing as Batman Inc. issue number 8. I absolutely love this issue. To see the way that everybody is dealing with the death of Damian Wayne is beautiful. If there's only one Requiem book that you're looking at getting, look no further than Batman Inc. And also do yourself a favor and go and read the amazing book, Batman and Robin. So Batman Incorporated, issue number 9, gets a thumbs up and a David Lee approved. One thing that Fiona Staples of Saga has taught us is that the first page of any new book has to have something that makes you go, wow, oh god, ew. And that's what you get in here with Superman issue number 1. Now, Rocafort is not here on artists, but we got 3 different artists, and they do an adequate job. Now, what I said about the first page, and it has to have something that makes you go shock or damn, and that's what you get here. You get this awesome first page that just sets you into the book, and you know what you're in for. You have Orion just kicking the ass out of this dragon type thing, and it's so freaking awesome. Just look at that. So you know right off the bat what you're coming in for. But then it takes a twist. Now, as I said, there's 3 different writers in here. And the one thing that I like that has been set up in this issue is that each writer has a different chapter. There's 2 chapters, I believe, and there's 2 epilogues. So you got 4 different artists in here, and they do an adequate job. And each chapter has a different feel to it. Where the first chapter is of Orion and him just kicking the ass out of this dragon type thing, and you just see how badass he is. And then we get to the second chapter. We get to see the fallouts of Hell on Earth. And to seeing that with all the events that's happened in the DC Universe, the people, the regular people, you and I, want answers for what's going on. And so Superman goes in front of the country and has all these politicians demanding answers. And it's just so awesome to see that Superman is not the Superman we knew from the previous continuity, but this is a Superman that fights with his, or talks with his fists. But when he has to actually speak, you can tell he's not a politician. His words that he's using are being used against him from the politicians. And it's awesome to see the banter that goes back and forth, and to see how Superman is not in his right place when he's up front of the State of the Union. It was so freaking awesome. We also got in here some things that Scott Lobdell has been doing. He's been having a lot of multi-paths for his story to go through. We have different storylines going and across each and every issue, usually about 3 different plot lines. And in here, with it being into different sections, it all works out. And we get to see the future of Scott Lobdell's take on Superman. I like this book. This book has personality to it. And Scott Lobdell's writing is actually enjoyable, unlike in his Teen Titans and sometimes in his Red Hood and the Outlaws run. I'm surprised to say that I'm actually enjoying this version of Superman with Scott Lobdell at the helm, because Scott Lobdell is not my favorite writer in the world. He's mediocre at best. But here's with Superman, you definitely tell that he has something he actually wants to say with it. So in the end, I'm going to give Superman issue number 18 a thumbs up. And hopefully with the next issue, maybe we get some improvement on just dialing up, dialing down, and getting into the story. And maybe, just maybe, this can be a David Lee approval. But for right now, it's a big old thumbs up.